Part two of today's Local 6 Legal Line, visiting with Mark Bryant of the Bryant Law Center, Paducah, Mayfield, and Louisville. The topic has been the Bard port, which is used for those people that have had cancer. And again, Mark said a minute ago, if you've been using this, chances are you've got problems already. You don't need any more. And we want to get into what you need to do if you think that you or someone you know has been affected by this. And that leads us to a direct question from one of our viewers who wants to know, can I claim a lawsuit since my mother had a Bard port and bled out?
I need to know more about what you mean when you said she bled out. Did she bleed out as a result of the fact that the product, the Bard port, fractured and went into her body and caused her to bleed out? So I wish you would call me this afternoon at 270-443-MARK, or just 270-442-1422, Mark Bryant. But I'd like to talk to you this afternoon because that could be very interesting. And if that's the case, we would be very interested in going forward with that. Won't cost you a dime.
Yeah. Meanwhile, for everyone else out there that might be interested in this or feel like they've been affected, what should they do and how long do they have to take action?
Okay. Now, let's say that none of you have heard any of this thing before, and you can honestly say the first time you ever heard that there were a problem with Bard port was the day you saw Mark Bryant on television. You got 1 year to the date. In other words, from now, you got a year to do anything about it. But if now that you know about it, pick up the phone and call us. We've got people on standby that are taking these calls. Our intake people are, and it is very, very serious, and it is definitely going on here in our community. And we'll file the lawsuit. The lawsuit will end up in Phoenix, Arizona, where Judge Campbell is handling it in the multi-district litigation. But there are lawsuits all over the country that are being filed on it, and we're filing them ourselves. So and just pick up the phone and call and ask for me, or ask the intake people there at the office. But I'm here to tell you that we would be proud to represent you. After we do, it won't cost you a dime until we win the case, and we'll go to Arizona and deal with it out there.
And I think that's one very important point to make, Mark, and we can't reiterate this enough, is that for those that are involved not only in this mass tort, but others, that it doesn't cost you anything to get into this until you win the case, right? That's
exactly right. And really, we've got thousands of clients across the country, and in 3M cases, we represent a ton of Marines out of South Carolina at Camp Lejeune in those cases, and we do all this thing, and we're just betting that we're going to win, and we almost always do. And that's when you pay, is when the money comes in. Doesn't cost you a dime in the meantime.
The topic on today's Local 6 Legal Line has been the pending litigation with the Bard PowerPort. And if you missed any of this, we'll probably talk about this again later. This is not the last time you have heard about this pending litigation. But again, if you do have other questions, please call the Bryant Law Center to find out more. Our thanks to Mark Bryant today for his guest.
Did I do okay today by
absolutely.
Myself?
Flying solo, you did great. You can review these segments if you'd like to do so very shortly. We'll have them up online at WPSDLocal6.com.